You know what today is? Today is Howie Roseman Appreciation Day. And why is it Howie Roseman Appreciation Day? Because of Daryl Morey. That was originally the only reason why it was Howie Roseman Appreciation Day. Well, now we got to make it Howie Roseman Appreciation Day because of that damn debate last night, too. Howie Roseman Appreciation Day starts live in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome all to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are live. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, you know the drill. Wherever you are watching, hit that like button, that share button. That's very important, that share button, that subscribe or follow button. That's what I'm doing right now, sharing it and liking it on all the different platforms right now. Just getting the word out as we try to get as many people interactive and finding this great morning show, as we do it every single day, 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. Guys, I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. You can find me on all social media platforms at Beard of Knowledge. Guys, we're gonna have a fun Friday here. It's Football Friday. It's post-debate Friday and debating, on many different platforms Friday. Guys, it's also a day where we've got some struggles, some problems with the fighting Phillies to discuss. The injury bug has hit our Phillies even worse than before. There is a lot, and I mean a lot, we could talk about. But I want to start because yesterday we spent a lot of time yesterday morning bitching and moaning about Daryl Morey. My Twitter feed does not agree with me in saying Daryl Morey is doing a terrible job. There's a lot of Daryl Morey supporters out there. Then you see Daryl Morey go about night 2 of the draft or afternoon 2 of the draft or whatever, round 2, and just more question marks. More question marks on what he says versus what he does. So, based off of Daryl Morey, I'm using today to count my blessings of the great Howie Roseman and that he is in charge of our football team. Because at least we have one competent individual in our city. Because Daryl Morey is not competent. Howie Roseman is. Howie Roseman's thinking now. He was thinking yesterday. He's thinking about the future. He's coherent. He makes sense. He don't bullshit. I could have made this a Howie Roseman Appreciation Day, a Dave Dombrowski Appreciation Day, hell, even a Danny Briere Appreciation Day. But I'm choosing Howie Roseman on this Football Friday. And, of course, the first comment of the day says, fire Howie Roseman. I don't know if this is a troll job or a joke, but that's a ludicrous statement. Happy Friday, Stevie. Good morning to you. Hope you're well. Brett, what is up? Looks like George will test free agency. Paul George. You know what? At this point, I'll take him. At least it'll match the saying of what Daryl Morey is saying. Never good. Good morning. We appreciate Howie. Greatest GM ever in Philly of all. He's definitely the best of the 4 right now. Dave Dombrowski a close second. Dave Dombrowski's got his work cut out for him. 1,000%. A tough loss to the Marlins last night. But on top of the tough loss, on top of the fact that none of the pitchers really had their A game, you potentially lose Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber last night, Adam. So Dave Dombrowski's job as GM of keeping this team in first place till the playoffs just got a little harder. Bryce Harper with a hamstring issue. I mean, what do we lost Trey Turner for almost 8 weeks. We're almost in July. It means we might not get Bryce Harper back till late August. Kyle Schwarber with a groin issue. Why was he playing left field anyway? He might be out till August. You might have lost 2 of your top 3 hitters. Maybe 2 of the best hitters. The second front runner for MVP. Dave Dombrowski's got his work cut out for him. But Howie Roseman is the best GM right now because he's the only GM in this city that consistently has his pulse on putting a quality team on the field while also thinking about the future. Because, again, everybody on Twitter thinks that I hate Jared McCain and Jared McCain and Aden. Is it Aden? Aden? Bona or whatever his name is. I don't hate these kids. They have potential. But potential don't win you championships. When Howie Roseman drafts a prospect that has developmental needs, Alex Hunt, 3rd round this year. He does it at a position where he's already got people there in place. Whereas Daryl Morey's out there drafting a backup center that needs probably 3 years at a minimum till he's ready to really, truly contribute. A small guard that's going to take 2 years to be. I was like, oh, well, he's the next Tyrese Maxey. No, it took 2-3 years for Maxey to get there. When Howie Roseman takes, when he took Jordan Mailata, let's go roll back. Let's talk real development. We didn't need Jordan Mailata for 3 years. Howie Roseman isn't going to reach when he's trying to win a Super Bowl for a positional need that's actually needed right now to step in. The Sixers need everything. They don't have time for development if you're going to win a championship under Joel Embiid. That's the difference between Howie Roseman and Daryl Morey. You think Gavin Newsom is going to do well in the next debate against Trump? Oh, my God. Dude, can I just say, I don't want to get too deep into the debate last night. Let's just say I got myself effed up last night. I took an edible, had a little glass of red wine, then turned the debate on. And it was hilarious. Rewatching highlight clips this morning on Twitter and YouTube of the debate, sober with my coffee, made me literally throw up in my mouth. Depending on the results of the MRI and expect a recovery similar to Trey for Bryce, so end of August. Aren't we glad Bryce hustled? Thanks, WIP. Yeah, I agree. I'm thinking it's the same as Trey, for sure, about end of August. And yeah, he hustled and he hurt his hand. Good morning, Elephant in the Room. How are you this morning? Rick, Howie surely is the best GM in Philly. Absolutely. Abso-damn-positive-alutely. There's no doubt it that Howie is the best GM in the city. None. Zero. Zilch. 1,000% the best GM in the city. No doubt about it. Morley isn't Morey. Okay, so Morey isn't thinking about the future. He's just thinking about next year, and that's it. Well, then why draft 2 young projects? I mean, Adem Bona, people are saying, oh, this is going to be the best backup center Joel Embiid's ever had. The kid's been playing basketball for like 4 years in his life. He ain't ready to play NBA basketball. The Sixers are going to have the best damn blue coach G League team in their history. They're not going to have the best damn NBA team next year. Howie is great, but he has had horrible linebacker play the last 2 years and gaping holes in defensive tackle in 2022 and secondary last year. No GM is perfect. Right? So he had bad linebacker play last year. 2 years ago, TJ Edwards and Kazir White did solid work. He had a gaping hole at defensive tackle, it turned out, right? And what did he do? He went out and got into Dominican Sue and Linville Joseph to fill it. And yes, the secondary was bad last year. There weren't many options to fix it, though, once it got bad. And what did he do? He went out and addressed it with guys. He didn't go out and draft a prospect to compete at cornerback. He went out and got two of the best quarterbacks, period, that are NFL ready today. McCain and Bona aren't NBA ready. Not today. Not for a playoff contending team. Sure, McCain would be starting on a bad team right now, right out of the gate. But if he's starting right out of the gate of the Sixers, it means that's a problem. And that's the issue. Looking at the choices made from Howie Roseman versus Daryl Morey, night and day. Night and day the planning there. Night and day what the message is being sent. And that's the thing right now. It's the message being sent to our fan base, to our organization. It's the message being sent to everybody. Howie Roseman's fixing problems when they arise. He sets the how do I say? I sound like Joe Biden stumbling on my words, right now. But like he actually goes out there and beats the market to these guys. I mean, A.J. Brown's contract, huge. Well, now after the last couple of wide receiver contracts, not so huge. Same thing with Devontae Smith. Look, already working on Milton Williams' extension. Because let's get to it before it becomes a problem. This is a hilariously honest but serious question right here. And I see Bam. Hang tight. I want to get to your comment too, because I have a bold take on Bam, but I want to address Adam's comment first. The Flyers are closer to a title, and they're years away. But the reason why the Flyers are closer, because we know they have a clear, distinct plan in place. The Sixers have no plan. None whatsoever. The Sixers are just out there randomly doing shit. And Morey's saying one thing, doing another. The Flyers are going to come out and say, we're not trying to win a Stanley Cup this year. But what we are doing is trying to get to a certain point so that we can. The Sixers have no plan. Literally, you might as well trade Joel Embiid today. And Bam's comment, Elton and Morey are horrible. And Bam, I love the comment. I appreciate you tuning in, my man. But I would take, and I got lit up on TikTok and Twitter for saying this, I would take Elton Brand running the Sixers over Daryl Morey. And Elton Brand did some bad things. But you know what Elton Brand did? He saw a team that needed stuff to get over the hump, and he swung for the fences. He failed. He's got to deal with that. But at least he wasn't scared. He went out and traded for Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. Didn't work out. Tried something different with Al Horford. Terrible idea. But at least he tried. Daryl Morey's out here telling us one thing and doing another. Daryl Morey, I don't like agreeing with James Harden. I don't do it often. But James Harden flat out said, Daryl Morey's a liar. And we all laughed at James Harden when he said that. Well, you know what? Maybe he was on to something there. It's not bold to say the Flyers are closer. It's not. It's bold to say Elton Brand is better than Daryl Morey as an executive. But, which player in the draft would have started for this team? None. And see, everybody misinterprets me saying things about these players drafted like I wanted another player. No, I didn't want any player in the draft. I wanted draft picks traded for win-now players. And yes, some of those players, Ingram, Grant, Lauri Markkanen, could be available. But now you have one less draft pick to trade. And that's the problem. Now, if you want to deal with Lauri Markkanen, well, you can't trade 16. They either better like McCain or you're one less pick available. And that's the problem. Everybody's misunderstanding my hatred of this week's draft for the Philadelphia 76ers. It's not. It's not. These are good young players that we drafted that could, in 2, 3, 4 years, be viable starters or role players in the NBA. But not today. Not this day, if you get that one. See if it gets that one. Yeah. What's up, Mike? How you doing? Saying trade Embiid for the last 2 years. Well, I have not. And I don't want to trade Joel Embiid, Mike. I don't. I really don't. But it might be time. If you're not trying to win a title, let me tell you something. We are so goddamn far from being even remotely close to winning a title that you might as well. You might as well do it now. Get what you can get, and then you can actually spend time developing McCain and Bona. Or is it Bona? I don't even know how to say this kid's name. Good morning, Duck. Greetings and salutations. It is Howie Roseman Appreciation Day. Because all this dreck that we talk about the Sixers makes me appreciate Howie Roseman. It makes me want to come on here and say, Howie Roseman, I am sorry that 7, 8, 9 years ago, I was hashtagging fire Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman must go. No. After the last week or two, I'm ready to say, I am sorry, Howie Roseman. I pledge my allegiance to Howie Roseman. Let me tell you something. If Howie Roseman was in charge of the Sixers, even knowing nothing about the NBA salary cap or knowing nothing about NBA, I bet you he could turn this team and organization around in 2 years. Guarantee you. He'd figure it out. I was hoping they would have traded the 16th and get a Paul George or another free agent to win now. And they still might get some of these players. But the story they're telling is that they're not. What if Morey is lying to Maxey about giving him a max contract? Oh, my God. Well, McCain is – that's the thing with McCain. Like, McCain is basically Maxey's backup or replacement. On the flip side of it, mister, what if Maxey's lying to Morey, saying he wants to sign the max contract? What if Maxey don't want to be here anymore? Probably the only reason why they haven't traded Embiid is because then Maxey would want out. I do. He is never healthy when it counts. Yeah. Look, we know what he is. We know what he is. Joel Embiid. He is one of the greatest big men to ever see the court. He is also one of the most injury-prone players to see the court. You get the great when he's there, and you get the awful when he's not. And yes, Justin Simmons is still in play. I hear the Justin Simmons rumor mill's starting to stir. The pot is starting to move on that. I would have no problem if before camp starts, we're probably less than 4 weeks till camp. I think it's like the 24th of July or 23rd. I would expect that if no team gets him, he will be in Eagles camp by then. Still obviously very weak at safety in the depth department. So yes, Justin Simmons, rumors are out there. He is in play. I 1,000% would be okay with it. 1,000%. And I'm curious to why he hasn't signed yet. He probably really does want big-time money that he's not getting. I, too, was doing that. Praising Howie Roseman because you're sorry for saying fire Howie Roseman. Good morning, my man, Eric. Hope the wife's recovery is going well. No PG, get Ingram or a lesser-known player about to break out. You always got to get in the NBA world, you always got to get the next star before they're the star. And I've said it before. Sometimes I'm right on those. Sometimes I'm wrong on those. But you got to get them before they're the stars. I laughed at Harden saying it in front of 60 Chinese teenagers. We're probably like, what the hell? Yeah, Daryl Morey's a liar. Well, maybe. At the very least, he's a bad GM and executive. That's why I would take Elton Brand back in control. I really would. Elton Brand would either A, say, look, we're going to have to take a step back for 2 years to move forward. And Joel, if you want to go, I understand. Or he would go out and swing for the fences and be like, look, I tried. It didn't work out. You can't – that's why I have so much respect for the Knicks GM and executives and front office, because the Knicks are trying to beat the Celtics. So they made 2 big-ass bold moves. They might come back to bite them in the ass. 2 or 3 years from now? Absolutely. But you know what? They tried. I'm the short stack, chip in a chair, all in. I'm trying to double up. I'm trying to make the final table of the World Series of Poker. I'm going for it. I'm going to chase that straight flush draw. Sure. I got a gut shot straight flush draw. I'm all in. I'm trying to win. Daryl Morey don't have those kind of guts. If he did, Laurie Marketing would be a sixer already. If he did, Brandon Ingram would already be a sixer. If he did, Mikal Bridges might be here. Just saying. I hope the Warriors overtrade for Paul George. Yeah, I think it's kind of bogus that Paul George is forcing himself to be traded now if he picks up that option versus just signing in free agency wherever. He's really trying to screw some people over there. I get it, though. Yes, hopefully his wife is doing well. That's good. That's good to hear. It's good to hear. I'm hoping Daryl does something that we haven't talked about because not many great options at the moment. What haven't we talked about that could happen? LeBron's off the table now. Bronny James going to the Lakers. Is there any agent? Like, there's a big name agent in every sport. You got Drew Rosenhaus. You've got, what's his name in baseball? Why am I drawing a blank? But you got Rich Paul in the NBA. Calling teams and saying, don't draft Bronny. If you draft him, he's going to go play in Australia. All the other GMs are probably like, what the fuck? We weren't going to draft him anyway. He wasn't on our top 100 board. But he ended up getting drafted by the Lakers. Whatever. Good for him. Good for Bronny. Good for LeBron. At least he goes somewhere where his dad will make sure he gets the opportunities to learn and grow that he deserves. The Knicks on paper right now are staring the Celtics right into their nose. They're trying. Howie Roseman wasn't content with the way last season ended. Coordinators, out of here. New defensive backs. Let's go get an elite running back. We're not going to fall short next year. Is Saquon Barkley a perfect move? A guaranteed lock to be a slam dunk move? No. But you know what? Howie Roseman had the guts and the knowledge to know that if it's not the right move, I could fix it. And he made it. He swung for the fences. He's like, our cornerbacks were bad. I'm going to go out there and draft the two of the three best cornerbacks in the draft. And he did it. So not only just one, if one doesn't work out, you got another. Howie Roseman's willing to swing for the fences. Al Brand was. The Knicks GM is. Daryl Morey's out here. We're trying to win the title. But we're going to go draft two developmental pieces at the same time. Make it make sense. How's it going to work out with Bronny and LeBron playing together in Lakers? If Bronny plays more than 20 minutes this season for the Lakers, then there's some serious issues going on in L.A. Bronny James is not even ready to play in the G League, let alone the NBA. They're going to stash him in their G League team. He's going to be the 15th man on the bench from some nights. At some garbage point in some game when the Lakers are up or down by 30, you're going to see LeBron and Bronny on the court together. And that's it. Well, I think even a bad GM would have fired people after the way. That's true. That's true. That's true. But he didn't. He wasn't accepting it. Okay. Their goal is to win. The window to win is now. And in theory, the Sixers' window to win is this year. You got $60 million in cap space, 5-6 tradable first-round picks. You've got two legit superstars. The window's open. But Daryl Morey's dragging his feet. I keep thinking of that Seinfeld episode with George and the rocking chair for the security guard, and the guard's rocking himself to sleep as the store's getting robbed. All these other teams are making moves, trying to get better or trying to compete for a title. And Daryl Morey's just like, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll get there when we get there. Just watch. Just watch Tobias Harris get offered a contract, or the rumors that he gets offered a contract. If I'm Tobias Harris, even if Daryl Morey offered me a major contract, I'd say no because I don't want to play for you. Wife sent me a screenshot of Lakers drafting Bronny. I said, oh, that's nice. They could both play together for a few years. and both leave the NBA at the same time. Basically, because that's what's going to happen. It's just like Giannis Antetokounmpo's brothers have all been on NBA teams. None of them are worth scratch on NBA teams. But the Lakers brought in one hoping to lure Giannis. The Bucks brought in one to keep Giannis. Like, these guys aren't good. You try to make your stars happy. I mean, if Joel Embiid's kid's ready to suit up, I'm sure the Sixers would sign him to a developmental contract right now. I know he's only 4 or 3 or whatever, but maybe the Sixers are going to try to get, baby Embiid on the court soon. Harris is a free agent. And to me, it's still a fallback option. It's still going to happen. It really could still happen, Adam. Now, if I'm Tobias, I'm saying no matter what. I would take it. If I'm Tobias, I would take a veteran minimum contract elsewhere rather than come back to the Sixers and deal with the fan base and deal with being somewhere that you don't fit. Howie Roseman would see this Sixers situation and actually be considering trading Joel Embiid. He wouldn't less. If Howie Roseman knows his team isn't going to win now, an expendable part gets traded. I'm not trying to say Joel Embiid's expendable, but if he's got a 2-year window and you don't think your team's going to compete for a title in 2 years, then you move on from him. Howie Roseman would have 20 first-round draft picks brought in for Joel Embiid. Howie Roseman does it right. Howie Roseman might not give us a lot of great sound bites, but Howie Roseman gives us something. Howie Roseman also doesn't lie through his teeth to us on a regular basis, like Daryl Morey does. Daryl Morey is the worst GM in this city right now. Hands down, without about a shadow of a doubt. In theory, I don't even think they plan on trying to compete for a title this year. In theory, I think these draft picks were made with Nick Nurse in mind because Nick Nurse knows how to develop young players. I brought this up before. Look at the title team that the Raptors had. Yeah, they had Kawhi for that year, superstar. He put him over the top. But look at the crux and core of that team. Young guys that Nick Nurse developed. Fred VanVleet, who I've heard some people compare to, Jarrett McCain early in his career. Okay? Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa. All young guys that Nick Nurse made better. Obviously, OG just signed $200+ million. Fred VanVleet got like 175 last offseason. It was to the Rockets. Pascal Siakam just got a max contract with the Pacers. Achiuwa still not doing much. But Nick Nurse developed young guys, then got a star to get him over the hump. This might be a behind-the-scenes philosophy from Daryl Morey. Working with Nick Nurse, get me guys I can mold my way. You got me for 5 years, 4 more. Give me some young guys, and then in 2 years, then we'll work on it. Doesn't make sense because Daryl Morey is telling us we're trying to beat the Celtics and win the Eastern Conference. And notice Daryl Morey didn't say win the title. He said try to win the Eastern Conference. There's a big difference there. Daryl Morey is just flying blind. Howie Roseman getting the job done. And yeah, you know what? The Eagles might not win the Super Bowl this upcoming year. They might not. Only one team wins in all sports, right? The odds say they're not going to. They're one of the favorites, but 1 out of 32 chance, And if he fails, if Saquon Barkley isn't the right answer, he'll move on. He'll find a way. If the quarterbacks weren't right, he'll fix it. If there's another deficiency that caused us to fall short, he will fix it. Daryl Morey is the worst GM in any sports, as Michael says. Clearly. As I like to say, without a shadow of a doubt. 1,000% true. I'm just thinking of all the GMs for all the Philly teams over the last 20 plus years. And I'm trying to think of a GM that I had less faith in than Daryl Morey. I mean, Matt Klentak was pretty bad. But in theory, technically, he was here for the Bryce Harper. He didn't do anything about it, but he was here. And I didn't like his philosophies, but he had a philosophy. We don't know what Daryl Morey's philosophy is. For Howie Roseman, Joe Banner at least kept us relevant. Has there been, maybe, what's his name from the Flyers? Chuck Fletcher or Ron Hextall. Were they worse than Morey? I don't know. Close, but I don't know. Twitter poll, Twitter power rankings, Twitter question. Worst Philly GMs last 20 years. That's something for Twitter to answer. Morey is for sure the most overrated GM. Absolutely. This is not up for debate. Not even close to up for debate. Maxi's agent is smart enough to get an opt-out in his contract, which the opt-out is in 2 years when Embiid's contract is done. That would be pretty smart on his part, for sure. Tech was worse than Morey. In theory, maybe. But he had a plan. It just didn't work. He was into that analytics plan. We didn't agree with the analytics plan. His plan was the reason that Scott Kingery got ruined, that Reese Hoskins got ruined. His plan didn't work, but he had a plan. We don't even know what Daryl Morey's plan is. I'll give you Fred VanVleet and Siakam, but Gasol, Green, Lowry, Ibaka were vets getting that team to a title. But okay, yeah, I get it. I'm not trying to say that the younger ones got them the title, but we saw Nick Nurse develop talent. That's what I'm getting at. He developed talent, and maybe that's behind closed doors what's really going on. And if that's the case, then just admit it. Don't tell me you want to beat Boston and win the East, but you're really developing talent. Rod Thorne, Ed Stefanski, all very bad GM, for sure. But did any of them have $60 million in cap space and half a dozen tradable first-round picks and do nothing with them? Klentak is number one, the worst GM in Philly ever. And I knew Klentak when I said that was going to get mentioned a lot. Ruben Amaro was not an overrated GM, not a bad GM. Ruben Amaro was in a tough spot. Taking over for a legend, taking over a team that just won their first title in 28 years, taking over a team with a boatload of very, very beloved players, trying to keep the run alive, trying to manage the expectations. And honestly, the only really bad move Ruben Amaro did was give Ryan Howard that contract, which at the time was not a bad contract. And if Ryan Howard doesn't tear his Achilles, it's not a bad contract. I don't think Ruben Amaro was as bad of a GM as people say he was. I think Ruben Amaro was good. He wasn't great. He wasn't awful. He was average. Exactly. But technically he was here. Technically he was the GM. Technically his name probably was on the contract somewhere. He couldn't sign Harper or Machado. Hell, he couldn't even unlock the front door for Manny Machado. Wasn't it Machado that was locked out? Billy King was bad, and Billy King would be on my top 10 list solely because he turned me down for a fist pump at a valet parking lot at a city hotel in the city. Like, yo, Billy King, what's up? Got nothing out of him. And because of that, Billy King will always be the worst. Don't disrespect the beard, and then you're going to get away with it, even if it was 20 years ago. Yeah, don't disrespect the beard and get away with it. Exactly. Ruben was good. Tough situation to be in, for sure. I worked for the Phillies for the Ed Wade era that everyone hated. Ed Wade We don't win the World Series without Ed Wade. And you know what? Guess what Ed Wade did after he left Philly? He went to Houston and built the foundation that won Houston a World Series. Well, that and the cheating, but, Ed Wade had an eye for talent. Ed Wade could draft. Ed Wade could build a foundation. Ed Wade's nowhere near a bad GM in this city. My man Josh, what's up? This team has no young players on this team that a team would want to trade for. I don't have a problem with taking a young player because it shows yeah, again, Josh. And you see my Twitter posts. I don't dislike McCain or Bona. In theory, the potential that they could bring to a team. But if you're telling me you're trying to win a title in 2024 and that's your decision to draft those two players, you're wrong. Because they will not contribute to a championship team. They just won't. They will not contribute to a championship caliber team. If you're trying to be the 8th seat, the 9th seat, the 10th seat, sure, they'll develop it maybe 2 years from now. They might be something. But they're not ready now. I agree on Morey, but this was the right moves. Giving up first-round picks just to give them up would be foolish. I disagree. If Bridges is worth 5 first-round picks, probably not. But you know what? They tried. They gave it a shot. They swung for the fences. We need an elite playmaker that can play defense, that can do it all to compete with ball. We need someone that can go toe-to-toe with Jalen Brown or Jason Tatum. You know what? Let's go get Bridges. Let's do it. You want 4, 5? I want to give you 4. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to give you the 5 that you want. Okay. It doesn't work out, fine. They tried. I'd rather a GM make an effort. I don't want Paul George here. But if he brings him in, you know what? At least he's trying. Shared what? The Billy King thing? Or I'm behind on comments again. I don't like Morey. Look, Morey's just a line sack of shit. Plain and simple. If Morey signs George, isn't that a better signing than Clintek ever did? I guess. Did Clintek ever sign anybody? I think McCain will be traded by Morey for Butler, Ingram. But here's the thing, Mike. Can I call you Mike? I know you say Michael on the screen, but can I call you Mike for a second? Here's the thing. McCain could still be traded for any of these names. Absolutely. But you know what? If you do the trade before the draft, the team gets to pick the player they want. Now, the team Miami has to want McCain. Ingram, the Pelicans have to want McCain. What if those teams don't like McCain? A small guard in an NBA, in a league where small guards are more unsuccessful than successful, more often than not. That's the thing. That's it. That's why you make the deal before the draft with that pick. Bridges only wanted the Knicks. Yeah, probably. Billy King has always been. It wasn't long after we were roommates that Billy King refused to. What do the cool kids call it? Dap me up. He wouldn't dap me up. I don't think dapping was a thing back in the early 2000s, but he wouldn't. It was right after we were roommates. Paul wants to sign with the Clippers, and then he is going to ask to be traded, which is reported. Yes. I'm not trading for Paul George. You want to sign him? That's fine. But if I got to give up 4 draft picks to get Paul George here, I'm going to cry my eyes out. I was offended. It wasn't like I was making a big scene. Just like, yo, what's up? What's up, my man? I wasn't even shouting mean things at him. They tried. Bridges is not a superstar. That would set this back so far. Paul George is still an option, but wouldn't that be dumb too? Yes, absolutely. So if he goes and gets Ingram, you are happy because he tried. Depends. I do want Paul Ingram. Now, all these names are blended together. I do want Brandon Ingram. I do like Brandon Ingram. I do. He makes us better. If Morey wants to save face, give a boatload of picks to Utah, I would right now. I would have done it yesterday. I would have been done it 3 days ago. I would have done it at the trade. I was on this show at the NBA trade deadline saying it. Whatever you got, give it all. keep the rookies, we good. In 2 to 3 years, I thought this was I know. Somehow, Howie Roseman Appreciation Day turned into bashing Daryl Morey Day. Howie could run all 4 teams and have them all winning titles. Absolutely. We don't need him to run the Phillies, though. Dave Dombrowski's doing a fine job. And you know what? Let's throw that into the conversation here. The Phillies obviously have some really big concerns after yesterday's game. Harper, hamstring. Schwarber, groin. Both issues. My guess is Harper's going to be out till the end of August. Does that affect this season? Have we built up a big enough lead to tread water till Harper and Schwarber and JT Realmuto are all healthy? Throwing that into the conversation for the rest of this show. And while you guys are thinking about the Phillies and giving me your Howie Roseman appreciation, let's start with some of our great sponsors here at Trending in the AM. SherryTickets.com. Great moments don't just happen, they happen with you in the crowd. SherryTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Ticket says $50, it's $50, not $200 at checkout. SherryTickets.com is where you got to go. Use exclusive promo code EOP10, get you an extra 10% off, and not just sporting events, concert tickets, theater tickets. You can even give them a call, 610-494-5050, get a more personal touch. Just mention Edge of Philly Sports, just mention Trending in the AM. Again, don't overpay with the rest. Save with the best. SherryTickets.com, 10% off with EOP10. And, of course, our good friends at PhillySportsTrips.com. Go there, sign up, PhillySportsTrips.com. They got great travel packages, tailgate experiences, you name it, they do it. They got a great trip to Brazil to see the Eagles take on the Packers week 1, to go say hi to Howie Roseman. They also have great tailgate things like Italian Heritage Celebration at Citizen Bank Park, August 14th. Trip out to Pittsburgh to get a Permani Brothers sandwich and then see the Phillies take on the Pirates. They'll do spring training trips to see the Union, Eagles takeovers, not out of the country. You name it, they got it. PhillySportsTrips.com. Again, make sure you let them know where you heard about them. Right back to the comments, which now there's quite a few. The fan base love Howie so bad that with the exception of Matty B, he wasn't killed for the Reagor pick. Instead, the fan base killed Reagor for being a horrible player. Oh, we killed Howie for the Reagor pick. We did. I did on draft night. We did. But Howie Roseman has redeemed himself. Daryl Morey's been an executive in the NBA, a GM for almost 10 years now. Maybe more. Howie Roseman, the same. Howie Roseman has evolved. Daryl Morey has not. Not just in decision-making, but how they handle the fans and the media. Howie Roseman has evolved. Daryl Morey has not. Howie Roseman has had success. He's built Super Bowl teams. He's allowed to make mistakes because he admits his mistakes and he fixes them. Daryl Morey has never won a goddamn thing. And he keeps making the same mistake over and over again. Do you know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that's what Daryl Morey is. Change it to bashing Daryl Morey Day. We need Bob Myers. Bob Myers for president of the Philadelphia 76ers. Why not? We'll turn on Howie too. Just wait. It's in our nature. Probably 3 years from now, Marshawn, we might be killing. Fire Howie Roseman. We might be. But not today. Not this day. Again, nobody gets that reference. Never fear, Cody Clemens is here. Is he back off the injured list? Or is he still hurt? Or did he come off the injury list and we send him to the minors? I don't even know. I forgot Cody Clemens was hurt there for a second. But yeah, the Phillies have serious concerns. JT is still weeks away. Bryce Harper might miss 8. I don't know how bad the groin issue for Schwarber is. Why was he playing left field to begin with? Not necessary. Now he's got a groin issue. This Phillies team, where I'm going to be on my phone all day waiting for breaking news on injured lists and reports on these two guys. Are the Phillies far enough ahead? 8-game lead over the Braves. We're what? Less than 2 weeks from the All-Star game? About 2 weeks from the All-Star game? Are we far enough ahead that we could survive 8 weeks of no Bryce Harper? 4 weeks of no Kyle Schwarber? Whatever. I'm just spitballing here. Are we good enough at this point? Are there people that can step up? Nick Castellanos better be ready to step up. That's for damn sure. Trey Turner better be ready for the leadoff spot, or maybe Bryce and Stott. Well, this might be the time to get Stott in the leadoff spot. Stott 1, Turner 2, Bohm 3, Castellanos 4. That's your starting 4. Marsh 5. It's probably what you're looking at for a lineup. Why was Schwarber playing? Why? Why? Somebody tell me why. I'm not sure Howie is better than Dombrowski. Interesting. Let's compare. Dombrowski won 1 World Series. I think he went to 3 total. Right? He's taken 3 organizations to the World Series, but won 1, right? He only won 1 with the Tigers, right? He didn't win 1 with the Red Sox, but I think he got the Red Sox there. Something like that. And he got us to the World Series. Howie Roseman has been to 2 Super Bowls, won 1. Yeah. I think I'm doing my math right. It's close. I don't think you're totally off base in saying that. They're definitely neck and neck, though. Yeah, we all knew it. We all knew how Jalen Reagor was a terrible pick at that spot in the draft. I often think, Marshawn, would Jalen Reagor's career have been different if he was selected by any of the other teams in the NFL, any team, even the Eagles, in the second round of the draft? Would the pressure have been lighter if he wasn't taking 1 spot before Justin Jefferson? Would have been given the time to develop if he wasn't taking 1 spot before Justin Jefferson, who was a sensation immediately, where he was considered a second-round talent? If he would have gone in the second round, would have been given the benefit of the doubt to maybe be better? Just something I've thought about before, and I don't know the answer to it. Not just Harper, Schwarber, JT are hurt, but what about having only 4 healthy starting pitchers? Absolutely. Turnbull, hurt. He's probably done starting for us this year. We don't want Walker back. They got the Mercado kid up. Can we survive with a AAA pitcher for the rest of the year in the 5-hole? Probably. The bullpen has shown at times few little kinks in the armor. Phillies team, I mean, we knew there were going to be bumps in the road. That's why building up this huge lead in the division was so important. Why do we love Adem Bona? He's an undersized backup center that just started playing basketball when he was like 14 years old. Yeah, he's got potential. He's basically a younger, less experienced Paul Reed. So I know everybody was going to love him because they love Paul Reed, who was an undersized center in the NBA. He might be good, Adem Bona, in 3 years. But he ain't ready to contribute to a contending team today. People are out there saying this Bona kid is the best backup center Joel Embiid has ever had. And people are saying that with a straight face. And it's a load of, to use the word of Joe Biden, it's a bunch of malarkey. I promised I would say malarkey as many times as possible. It's malarkey. It's his favorite word, Joe Biden. Malarkey. Anybody saying that Bona is already the best backup center Joel Embiid has ever had is total malarkey. We don't know what he is. We can love Howie after he leaves. No one hates Pat Gillick. Pat Gillick's a Hall of Famer. Legitly in the Hall of Fame. The Phillies are not far enough ahead. That's a fear. It's 1,000% Michael a fear. And I have a feeling after this weekend gets through with this Marlins series and after we get more definitive answers on Harper and Schwarber, Monday's show will probably be an overreaction Monday Phillies dedicated show because I'm going to overreact to whatever news comes out this weekend, whatever happens. But you have to hope so. Yeah. Will Daryl Morey ever finish his story? What is Daryl Morey's story? Finishing the story. It's winning a title with James Harden. Will it ever happen? I see people suggest. I know the jokes of people suggesting bring back Ben Simmons, but I see people suggesting bring back James Harden. Are we insane, people? Who is going to lead off now? Well, it's probably going to be Turner leading off for the Phillies. I would love it to be Bryce and Stott. because Turner's a really great in that 2-hole as well. And I still think, I know Bryson Stott's had a bad year by his standards, but I still think Bryson Stott, the way he takes pitches, I think Bryson Stott's got leadoff potential, man. He does. I think Bryson Stott could be a leadoff hitter in the major leagues. This is a great stretch. Even if Schwarber's just going to miss a couple weeks, give him 2 weeks in that leadoff spot. Why not? He won with Boston, lost. Okay, my bad. My apologies. I know he took 3 organizations to the World Series. He only won with one of them, and I couldn't remember years. Like, in my mind, I'm trying to figure out the years and all. So Dave Dombrowski has taken 3 organizations to a World Series. One with one. If he takes the Phillies to the World Series this year and wins the World Series and gets a second title, you got to think he goes down as one of the best GMs in baseball of all time. And look what he did in Detroit. You know, they were on the cusp. What did he do? He traded everything to get Miguel Cabrera there. Boston, he was always making deals. Maybe it would have been on the Jalen Reagor. I just always wonder what Jalen Reagor's career would have been like if he wasn't selected. What was it, 20, 22, whatever it was? If he was taken at 47 or 39 or 52. If that's where Jalen Reagor was selected, his career might have been different because of less expectations. Dombrowski won with the Marlins, and the way he constructed that team is pretty impressive. Dombrowski's a great executive. No doubt about it. And maybe I'm using Howie Roseman Appreciation Day because I don't think it would have, if I would have called this Dave Dombrowski Appreciation Day, I don't think it would have gotten the response that it's gotten so far. He's won 2 World Series? Must be missing stuff. There, exactly. I'm standing corrected as well. So a team starts out hot and then gets a bunch of injuries. Please, 2024 Phillies, don't be the 2023 Eagles. Exactly. I don't think they are. Adem Bona highlights looks like a lot like PJ Tucker was switching on the perimeter. But he's not ready to contribute today. There again, let me repeat this. People are telling me when I said I don't like the pick, not because I don't like the player, when people say that they think he's already the best backup center that Joe Embiid's ever had, A, that's a knock on how bad the backup center position's been. But B, it's just not true. It's just like some of the lies told last night. It's just not true. Bona can't shoot, it says in his bio. Bona can't do anything at an NBA level yet. Bona's going to be the best center in the G League, but that's it. Well, it's malarkey. I love the word malarkey. And the fact that I heard it used like 47 and a half times last night. Let me tell you something. Let me repeat again since everybody's watching. I did watch the debate last night. I got high as hell first. Poured myself a gigantic pint glass of red wine and then sat down and watched it. It was much more entertaining with those 2 ingredients mixed in my body than it was this morning, me watching highlights sober with my coffee of it. That was just depressing as all hell. What will the Sixers actually do? Trade free agency? I really have zero faith. And that's why we're having Howie Roseman Appreciation Day. Because we have no faith in Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey is public enemy in my eye, number 1. Daryl Morey's got to go. He's not going to go, but he's got to go. Ronnie James. Phillies have good enough pitching to go 500 the rest of the way. 500 the rest of the way might be good enough. That's all that we need probably. We as a fan base live our lives in fear. This shit is hilarious. We as Americans live our lives in fear. No, I don't want to talk politics. Sorry. I won't do that again. It is. You know, and this comes back to, though, seriously, people saying that the Nets pay way too much for Mikal Bridges. The Knicks aren't scared. The Knicks are saying, you know what? We're going for it. We'll deal with the consequences later. We want to win a title. Let's see what we do. I give them all the credit in the world for it. All I know about last night's debate is we, the American people, did not win. And that's it. Morey is a joke. Pathetic, Joe. The Booch. The Booch is loose in the comments today, guys. You better watch out when Joe Bucci's in the comments. So is Harris. Tobias Harris? Yeah, well, he ain't a Sixer anymore. You think if we would have got Jefferson, no, yeah, exactly, yeah. Things work out. Howie Roseman purposely screwed up the Jefferson Rager pick so that he could eventually get A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Monday overreaction shows make for great content. Well, based off of this Phillies weekend, I'm sure we will be making some overreactions. And when does free agency start in the NBA? Is it Sunday or Monday? Because then once free agency starts, the Sixers will sign Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to an overpaid contract, and they'll sign Kyle Lowry and somebody else. And Sixers will be like, see, we got a team now. Phil, didn't you say to bring back the 1976ers yesterday? I said it with a massive amount of sarcasm, Brent. I do not want the 1960s back. There was a lot of sarcasm in that comment. Not good enough. Mitchie Poo, thanks for pointing this out. Guys, you're watching Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. There are 7 likes on YouTube. There are 10 on Facebook. Facebook never should outdo YouTube, since 98% of our comments come from YouTube. There should never be a scenario right now on YouTube. Just right now, there are 12 people watching. So you need to hit that like button, okay? Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe or follow button. Hit that share button. As we have Howie Roseman, Appreciation Day. Because we want to go into the weekend thinking positive thoughts. We want to go into the weekend thinking good things. Interesting question. What's Dark Hall doing in the minors this year? And is Clemens healthy yet? Those are the 2 questions. I mean, I could see them bringing up Derek Hall if he's having a good year in the minors. Why not? He could DH/play first base a little bit, I guess. I see you. I would put Dombrowski above Howie. Bad loss for the Phillies up 3-0 and hoping Kyle and Bryce. I'm hoping that the news today on Harper and Schwartz is better than I feel it's going to be. We'll leave it at that. The NBA drew Evo. It did become a joke. It is. Who was worse, Jalen Reagor or Quez Watkins? Jalen Reagor. I don't even need to think about that. Jalen Reagor. 1 Turner, Stott, 2 Bohm, Nick, Marsh, Sosa, Dahl, Rojas, Marchand. It's probably what it's going to be. Probably. Not a fan of it, though. And Rojas is hitting like 400 in AAA since we demoted him. Just so you know. Stealing bases, doing really well down there. So maybe a little reset down there was good for Rojas. So that's a positive thing for sure. But this is probably Rojas/Pache at 8. That's probably pretty much your lineup. Morey doesn't want to finish his story. His brain is like the lamb chops. Lamb chops, play along. Right? Is that how it went? Lamb chops, play. Then Lamb Chops did the skidamarinky-dinky-doo, skidamarinky-doo. See, I know. I got great random knowledge in this brain of mine. Don't ask me why, but I do. Bona is harder than all. Oh, my God. Stop. Oh, man. We already got Alec Bomer. Now we got Adem Boner. We got 2 boners playing in Philly now. I went to middle school with twins with the last name Malarkey. Really. Malarkey was also one of the Easy Company from Band of Brothers names. So, yeah. Phillies GM won the World Series twice. Yep, sorry. I missed the one. Sorry. So he's been with 4 organizations in the World Series now and won it twice. Dave Dombrowski is an elite executive. No doubt about it. But for algorithm purposes, it had to be Howie Roseman Appreciation Day. The Sixers are laughing stock of the NBA as they had the Washington Commanders front office. When I read this, Michael, I thought this was a joke. The first time I saw this reported. Like, how could this be real? How could this be true? That just had to be a sarcastic tweet. No, I saw multiple reports on it. Pathetic. Bona had to be better than previous backup centers to Embiid. Morey has to go. Well, Josh Harris is the biggest issue, for sure. There's no way Bona is playing serious backup minutes behind Embiid this year if the Sixers are serious about even being a 5 seed in the NBA next year. I'm telling you, no offense to Bona. Bona is a nice prospect. He's a guy that, in baseball terms, would spend the next 3 years bouncing between double and triple A, honing his craft. He is not ready to be an NBA center today. He's not. I think we will find Mona to always be up for the task. Man, where's Quinyon today? Marshawn's letting elephant in the room get all the jokes in. Quinon's not even here to counter these jokes. But elephant in the room, props to you with some really quality lowbrow humor this morning. Free agency begins the 30th. So Monday, we'll be overreacting to free agency and the Phillies' injuries. Free agency starts 6 p.m. Sunday. Morey is the only idiot who builds his roster from the bottom up. Yeah, he's selecting players 15 and 14 before he worries about 3, 4, and 5. BLSG, what's up? How you doing this morning? Not a G League for Bona in my previous comment. I think he is an NBA roster maker. I don't think so. Not if you're serious. Daryl Morey said with a straight face, we're trying to beat Boston. We're trying to win the East. Bona is not part of a team that's trying to do that. Howie's put together the team that have been competitive since 16. Always a chance at the chip most years. Absolutely. And after the whole Carson Wentz debacle, all that, what was it, $60 million in dead cap space, the most at the time ever. We all thought we were going in dark times. There was going to be a rebuild 3, 4, 5 years. Boom. Like that, one down year. Problem solved. And even that down year, we still made the playoffs with a basic rookie quarterback. So Howie Roseman fixes his mistakes like that. Better question is, who was worse, Reagor or J. Now, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I need time to think about that. Maybe a tie. I guess Reagor because he was the first-round pick. We have confidence in Robbie playing small ball. Robbie's just going to let them go out there and do what they always do, whatever they want. But they're going to have to do something. They're going to if Schwarber and Harper miss significant time, if JT's not come back for a few more weeks, they're going to have to do something different, the Phillies, for sure. The faces that Biden was making last night should be turned into a meme. Oh, they already are. They already are. Memes out there galore. No, this is the song that doesn't end. I remember that. Sharon, Lois, and Brad did Skinnamarink Dinky Doo. Skinnamarink. That was different then. I got a lot of random knowledge for some reason. Trade Embiid, build around a dem. Develop a dem. How about that? I am telling you, we will miss out on the playoffs this year with this bench. Could be right. I'm assuming you're talking about the Sixers, by the way. Don't expect too much from the Sixers as long as Morey's making the decision. Don't expect too much from the Sixers as long as Josh Harris is still the damn owner. Backup center Morey, how tall are you? 6'5", 6'7", assistant 7. I'm going to get a 6'8" kid. Yeah. Gotcha. Who stays, Lowry, Hield, or Oubre? Hopefully it's Oubre. I prefer Hield over Lowry. If I power ranked, it would be Oubre, Hield, Lowry in that order that I'd want. Can the Sixers fans, can Philadelphia 76ers Nation hire a lawyer to force Josh Harris to sell the team or to force Daryl Morey into retirement? I don't know. But you know what? We should all call David Archerry today, 610-565-0300, and ask him to represent Philly Nation, to get this Sixers team turned over to competent people. But realistically, if you need a workers' compensation lawyer, motor vehicle accident, personal injury law, criminal law, call the best. Call David Archerry, the Cherry Law Firm. He will fight for you and get you what you deserve. CherryInjuryLaw.com. Again, his phone number is 610-565-0300, CherryInjuryLaw.com. Just make sure when you call him, you let him know. Trending in the AM, Edge of Philly Sports is where you heard about him. And if you need to drink your sorrows away, then go this weekend to Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park. For 65 years plus, they've been the quintessential Irish-American dive bar in Delaware County. Great food, great times. PJ and the crew there do fantastic work. Make sure you drop Edge of Philly's name. Make sure you drop Trending in the AM's name when you're there. DolansBar.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. And also, make sure you tell them you want to see Trending in the AM live, 8 a.m. from Dolan's Bar at some point in the coming months. So go to them, check them out, DolansBar.com. Guys, you're watching Trending the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe button. But guys, right back to the comments because those two ad reads are done for the week. So gone. Make me fall behind when I read those ads. The style of defense in the NBA today makes Bona ready to play and be on offense. Be an offensive. You're putting the word force. Come on now. He's not an offensive force. Let's be realistic here. No, he's not going to contribute to a playoff team. Do you mean the constipated face or face that, why am I on this stage? Dude, both those guys are idiots last night. Let's just say that. One's a line sack of you-know-what. The other one, I think, was on steroids just to keep his eyes open. You can't tell me 360 million Americans are the best two candidates. It's pathetic. I was embarrassed for our country last night. Not by one or the other, by both of those guys. Definitely a tie between J. Jaw and Reagor. Remember the Deontay Burnett and Robert Davis days? Yeah. Man. Howie's had his mistakes. But he fixes his mistakes. He learns from his mistakes. That's what he does. He evolved. Howie Roseman knows how to evolve. Daryl Morey, you know what's going to happen? And this just proves that Daryl Morey is a one-trick pony. I guarantee you, first day of free agency, one of the first two signings the Sixers will make is for a bench player, an undersized guard that's over 35 years old, an undersized guard that used to play for him in Houston, Eric Gordon, will be one of the first two signings. Why? Because that's all Daryl Morey knows how to do. Daryl Morey knows how to go back to the Houston well and overpay aging players. The way Trump and Biden were talking about their golf games, oh, my God. That's right. I should get them on Fairway to Heaven to talk golf. And we literally had two guys saying, no, I drive the ball further than you. No, I drive the ball further than you. No, well, let's play golf together and let's find out. Like, seriously. I don't think me and my boys argue that much on the golf course about who's better. Build around Reed. Bona is his best. Stop. I didn't want Lowry at the trade deadline. I didn't want Lowry at the free as a pickup after he was bought out, a buyout pickup. I didn't want Lowry at all. And I got crushed for saying Lowry was washed. Everyone's like, no, he's not. And they had like two good games. And then we saw in the playoffs that Lowry is washed. Lowry should not be on an NBA court next year. He shouldn't. He should just save his reputation and retire. Yeah, the Sixers, Eagles are taking it to the bowl, and the Phillies are bringing home the World Series banner. I hope so. I'm scared. Bryce Harper out for 8 weeks. Schwarber maybe for 4 to 6 weeks. That scares me. It does. The cherry bombs, as always. We got the 4-leaf clovers. I heard Luka might be available. Where did this come from? I'm not questioning you, but I saw some prominent account on Twitter a day or so ago tweet trade options for the Sixers, and they put Luka's name in it, and I just ignored it. So I'm like, what the hell? Like, why would Dallas, first off, even remotely consider trading Luka Doncic? Secondly, whoever the GM would be run out of town. Mark Cuban would be forced to sell the damn team if they traded Luka Doncic. If Luka Doncic was on the trade market, you would need 10 first-round picks to get that guy. Like, I don't know why or how you'd play in the NBA Finals, and then you would trade one of the 5 best players in the NBA right after that. Like, I don't know where this rumor's coming from. I don't know why this rumor is floating. I don't know why the Mavericks, I sound like Joe Biden again stuttering here, would even put that rumor out there and not shut it down immediately. We should hire DRC and sue Morey for ruining Embiid's prime. Yeah, I think we should. I think so. Adem Bona is in the slam dunk contest. The only thing, though. Yeah, okay. So, sure, Matt Morey drafted a guy that might. He drafted another Mac McClain or McClung or whatever. A guy that's going to be on the blue coats and go play some dunk contests. Phil, I'm writing in on your behalf. Yeah, go for it. With the way the D is played, Yes, of course. Oh, man. A lying sack of malarkey. That's true. That's at the fifth time we've said the word malarkey, sixth time now on this show. Phil for president 2028. No. Dude, I could put my name in the hat right now for this year and probably beat these two candidates. And I know jack shit about politics. Literally any one of the core 12 could run for president on any campaign. Sia, who was on the show a few weeks ago, Sia Najad made a joke about it. Like, I would vote for Sia in 10 seconds. And if he continued doing his spaces for him from the White House Oval Office, that'd be great. What are the chances? Well, I don't think it's zero. And that's a problem. The fact that it's not 0%, Adam, is a problemo. That debate last night was like watching the Eagles during their 7-game collapse. Started off bad and couldn't recover. Man, pathetic. Pathetic on both sides. Pathetic. Mark Cuban did sell the team. What? No, he didn't. He still owns the team. I think he sold a percentage of the team. He still owns the team, didn't he? Do I miss something? The hiring process scene. Josh Harris. Morey, we have a good 5 window for a title. What's your plan? Morey, I'm closed that. Yeah. I'll bring James Harden 6. Yeah. Dude. He really screwed this place up. Harper and Kyle is scary and may cause a losing streak with the Braves, Dodgers upcoming. Going to see what this team's made of. Yeah. If we could be 500 over the next 2 weeks or so, step in the right direction. Morey drafts D-League superstars. Yeah. That really helps. Yeah. Biden, bring back malarkey from the 30s. Yeah. He was probably alive in the 30s, Biden. Whether the Luka rumor is true or not, I've watched basketball for 45 years, and I saw stars be traded. Nothing would shock me. Oh, yeah. What would shock me is that the rumors even exist. Like, in my mind, there's zero reason for there to even be this rumor, Michael. Not knocking it. Not knocking what you're saying. Just saying it makes no sense to me. Like, it would be dumb. I called it Grumpy Old Men 3 preview last night. Basically, yeah. We talk movies all the time. Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, Grumpy Old Men 1, Grumpy Old Men 2, Out to Sea. Pretty much any movie they made, old in their lives. 2 of the greatest comedic actors there are. They didn't have to say dirty jokes all the time and foul language. Some of those movies. Fan-fucking-tastic. Plain and simple. Out to Sea. Hilarious. My grandma was actually on the cruise ship while they were filming background scenes for that. Those 2 guys, legends. We'll never see comedic actors like Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon ever again. Ever. The best. Speaking of Biden, he has an embarrassment to this damn country. Don't even care about politics, but I just know how much we're getting laughed at. I don't want to get into a political debate because this sounds like you're trying to get me to say my real true opinions, BL. But you know what? Whether you think he's an embarrassment or not, so is the other. They're both an embarrassment. This country has been an embarrassment for 8+ years now. Both of these guys are terrible, and you can't tell me there aren't 2 to 4 to 6 better people out of 360 million that could be running for president right now. These can't be the 2 best. They just can't. I don't vote in presidential elections, but what if you refill our presidential candidates? They are. I've never skipped a presidential election since I've been eligible to vote. Never. I've skipped some local elections when I was renting versus homeowning because I didn't feel right making decisions for people that were paying taxes in the towns. But whatever. And work-wise and all. But I will consider not voting this year if these are the 2 names that make it to November. There's no way I can justifiably put my name, a vote with my name next to either of these names. Cuban sold a majority stake. He did? Okay. I thought it was a minority stake, but majority stake, whatever. Has a percentage only. He sold to a businessman from Vegas. I thought it was a minority stake. Okay. My bad. They also had a movie where they were ex-president trying to avoid being assassinated with the guy who used to in the Maverick TV show. Maverick. Great movie, great TV show. I don't remember that movie though, Duck. Who has been worse? They all are worse. LeBron bending a historical franchise Lakers up for a barrel. Man, that Bronny stuff, we didn't really get into it much today. Good for LeBron. You know what? Fine. Good for Bronny getting what he wants. But like somebody joked earlier, in 3 years, there won't be a James in the NBA because LeBron will retire, and then as soon as he retires, Bronny will be cut. Plain and simple. I hope he saves his money well. This might be his only contract. Why can't we find someone in the 50s, 60s? I don't care who. I don't care how old. But 40s to 60s? Come on. There's got to be somebody. There's got to be. That can't be what this country's got, the best of it. Like, it can't. I joked last night. There's so many Philadelphia athletes, past and present, I'd rather vote for than either of those two schmucks. I joked that I would vote for Pete Rose over those two guys. Somebody said that was a big gamble, but, just making jokes. Genie Bus is ruining the franchise. It's possible, yes. That's the problem with a two-party country. We need to have a real third and fourth party so that they have a identity. Yeah. Yeah. The fact that third party isn't welcome on stage for these debates is a problem. Don't forget about LeBron's other son, Bryce, who is better than Bronny. Yeah, it's like the whole Lonzo Ball thing, Lorenzo only got a team to try to convince Lonzo to come. Keep the family name going, get those ticket sales. LeBron, look, whatever. I don't hate him. Everyone hates on this whole situation. You know what? Father son want to play together. Cool. Lakers ain't winning a title next year. Biden needs to retire, and Trump will have an adult movie actor as his first lady. God bless America. You know what? I don't know what to say. Why do we have to pick the least worst option? We don't have to. We could just not vote. We can all just boycott. What happens? I'm just curious. And I don't know. I used to know my American history and like the Constitution really well. Too tired to really remember things like that anymore. But what's the Constitution say if 0 people vote? Who is it then the politicians get to select the president? So maybe that's not the right answer. The way Howie makes deals, I'd vote Howie for absolutely. Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl season. Absolutely. And that's why we're having Howie Roseman Appreciation Day. Because he says we're trying to compete for a Super Bowl, and he's building a team. His decisions might backfire. Saquon Barkley might be a bad decision. But you know what? He's taking a chance. Swinging for the fences. I give him credit for that. And you know what? I have confidence that if he does something wrong, he'll fix it. Daryl Morey is just a bozo. Hell, Bozo the Clown is smarter than Daryl Morey. My fellow Americans. I've never heard of this, and I love those two guys. My fellow Americans. Writing it down. Going to Google search it after the show. Please. Philadelphia would vote for him in a heartbeat. For sure. The Congress would select the president in that situation, which we don't want that either, because they would just select from those two as well. I wonder what LeVar Ball is thinking right now about LeBron getting the chance to play with Bronny. Dude, the ball. He lived his 5 minutes of fame. He might have ruined his son's career with those sneakers. It is what it is, guys. Guys, make sure you're hitting that like, subscribe button. Jam-packed 7-day-a-week programming right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Look at all the great content every single day on the show. We're going to be live tonight. 8 o'clock. No, not 8 o'clock. 6:30, does that say? I can't even read that on the screen. Let me zoom in here. 6:30, starting live for the NHL draft. You want to talk hockey? We're going to have a live program tonight for NHL hockey. Mitchie Poo, who is the Flyers and NHL draft team tonight on the show? I don't know who's on the show tonight. I would assume Big Al is part of it. I know he does a lot of the post-game shows. Matty B maybe, because I know he does a lot of prospect work. But make sure you're locked in a live NHL draft show. I guarantee you, be more entertaining than watching NBA draft coverage. So stay locked in 7-day-a-week programming right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Damn straight. Damn straight. Big Al, see, Big Al's always watching. Sometimes he's just lurking in the background. Just lurking. Waiting for an opportunity to sneak in a comment. So Big Al and Matty B will be running the draft show tonight. I give them credit. Doing an NHL draft live stream can't be easy. But with the news of Matvei Michkov, good. Well, I see rumors the Flyers are trying to get up into the top 5 of the NHL draft tonight. Danny Briere's got his eye on somebody. I don't know who. I'm more excited about the NHL draft tonight than I was about the Sixers and the NBA draft 2 nights ago. Write in Howie Roseman and me. You either write in Howie Roseman or Phil Stiefel. That's Stiefel, Stiefel. Got to get the name right. But I'm more excited about the prospects of the Flyers. About the Flyers at least have a plan. The Sixers are just throwing shit up against the wall. We'll see what happens. Our fan base is dumb enough. They'll buy anything we say. Not me. And I'm telling you, I hate being the heel character on Twitter. But you know what? Somebody's got to be the heel on Twitter when it comes to the Sixers and Daryl Morey, these draft selections and decision-making. It's me. Fine. You know, I've lost like 25 followers over the last 24 hours on Twitter. I don't care. I'm just telling it the way it is. It's good. New York Yankees, they suck. Phil, what news is about to break? I don't know. Is there news about to break? I don't know. Flyers have a future. I don't see anything because the Sixers window is closing fast. It might have already closed, Duck. I'm telling you. Depending on how Sunday night goes for the Sixers team, Monday morning we might be talking about a tweet from Joel Embiid about wanting out of the city. I'm just telling you. Big Al, why are they trying to get 4? Is it a center is a center to pair with Michkov? Is it a defender to pair with Drysdale? Is it for a goalie? What are they targeting? And is that person worth the risk of moving? Because what are they, the 7th or 8th pick in the draft? 3 spots up in the draft sounds like a lot. It'll probably cost a lot. Is it worth it? Yeah. Anytime you own a team in Philadelphia and then you go buy that city's competing football franchise, your priorities aren't right. God bless America. Hey, you know what? Those 2 idiots, bozos, might be full of malarkey last night, but you know what? We still live in the best damn country in the world. So there you go. Good morning to you, Tech. Coming in late. Coming in the final 5-10 minutes of the show here. It's okay. It's Friday, guys. It's the weekend. I hope everyone's going to have a great weekend. I don't know what's on everybody's plans. I don't know what's on my plans. A lot of work for me and my plans this weekend. It is what it is. Trying to see my notes. I didn't really take notes. Just call me Mr. No Notes today. I wrote down 2 things for today. I wrote down the word malarkey and Bronny James, and that was it for today. So just call me Mr. No Notes, and I think we've done a pretty damn good job with no notes. Just get Howie Roseman to negotiate with Putin. He'll get him to trade Russia for 3. Flyers need a goalie. They went to crap during their late season goalie situation. Absolutely. Look, the Carter Hart situation notwithstanding, the Carter Hart situation screwed the plans and the system. What they were, their goals really put a wrench in the plans for the Flyers. What he did was terrible. What he did was awful. He'll never play hockey again. But it did kind of put a curveball for Danny Briere and company. They have been linked to a couple names, but they have number 12. I thought they had a higher pick than that. Looking like possible Demidov, a really high-powered Russian D-man. Also a couple top centers. Okay? So 12-4, that's a huge move up. That's going to cost a lot. But if it's a guy they're targeting, look, that's all I'm talking about today is swinging for you set your goals, and if you're ready, you swing for the fences. If there's a guy you really like, you can't fault an executive for making a bold move if they think it's the right thing. Doing nothing and staying pat is the problem. For me, it's work, both today and tomorrow. I don't know what you do for a living. I own a restaurant. I'll be open as soon as I'm here. I put my shoes on. I head right into work. Open and close at a pizza shop on a Friday and a Saturday. I might have Sunday off, even though my manager got fired. You know, the guy that I manage, my manager, I fired. But I got somebody to come in so I can have a day off. I'm going to Hershey Park Stadium tonight to see Collective Soul, Hootie, and the Blowfish. Man, thanks for the invite. I would have taken off to go see Hootie and the Blowfish. I was secretly a huge Hootie and the Blowfish fan. Well, I still am. Hootie and the Blowfish is part of my XM series, XM alerts. Hey, that's going to be a great concert. And Collective Soul, powerhouse of alternative rock, Y100, back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Powerhouse. I've seen Collective Soul at a Y100 festival. I forget what year they were at it, but I have seen them before. Love them. That should be a great concert. Great time. Please, I could use the money. Last 5 minutes, the best movies with or about presidents. Best movies about or with presidents? Well, Independence Day is the first thing that pops into my head. And the speech, this day will live on. Not just that. I mean, when he's getting ready to get into the fighter pilot and gives the speech, I mean, that's got to be number one right there. Independence Day, off the top of my head. Best president movies. Just so you know. Yeah, Manager Who Stole From You. Yeah. Yeah, please. My fence still actually needs some repair, so I might need the fence or the cement for my fence, but that's another subject. He did actually come in for his final paycheck, and we told him when we fired him, I expect you to bring in all the money you stole from us. And we only had video footage of about $60. And he brought in a $100 bill for us, which I was surprised because I thought he would just wait till a day he didn't see either of our cars there and come in to get his last check and do nothing. But he did drop $100, which means how much has he been stealing from me and how much did I not know? Columbus won at the 12 and 32 pick and Colorado's first next year. And what I heard was that was too much. Both teams were expected to speak again today. That is fine knowledge. Air Force One, right up there. Independence Day, Air Force One. Harrison Ford, excellent in Air Force One. All the White House Down movies were all pretty solid. I hear they're doing a follow-up to Angel Has Fallen, another one. They're all fun. Still put Independence Day and Air Force One above them. Dave is up there as well. I'd put that on the White House Down, yeah. Get Off My Plane. Did I do that right? Get Off My Plane. Yeah. Don't Look Up President movie. What? Lincoln was a great series presidential movie. I haven't seen that. I want to say it. I just haven't yet. All the White House Down movies are entertaining as hell. It was White House Down, Angelus. White House Down is different. White House Down is the one with the other dude. Angel Has Fallen, all the Fallen movies. Yeah, so I'm thinking of two different franchises there. Mars Attacks, fantastic movie. So great. I mean, you see all these names that are going to be in the movie. All these are legit stars that are going to be in the movie. And 97% of them are killed in the first 3 seconds of the movie. You got to love it. Dude, 24 is one of the most underrated, greatest TV shows of all time. Now, yeah, the last season or two of it got a little bogus. Yes, I would love them to revisit it to get Jack out of prison in China. Or was it Russia? I think it was China. He's still rotting in a prison over there somewhere. But 24, season 1, 2, and 3 of 24 were literally must-watch TV. Must-watch. I'm Stupid Fun. Lincoln Vampire Hunter, yeah. I haven't watched that one either. Olympus Has Fallen. White House Down. They're all fun, exciting movies, yeah. But still, Independence Day, Air Force One, Get Off My Plane. Yeah, 24 was awesome. It was. It was amazing TV. And yes, it got a little extreme at times. Sure. What was the other presidential TV show that Kiefer Sutherland was in? When the Capitol's attacked and he's just the designated survivor. He was the only survivor, so he was kind of like 15th in line to the presidency, and he became president. It was the ending of the show wasn't great, but the first season and a half of that show, Designated Survivor, was excellent. Plus, Kiefer Sutherland's actually a very underrated actor. He's not just an action guy; he could do it all. And shout out to Donald Sutherland, his father just passed away at 88 years old last week. Another great actor. Designated Survivor was really, really damn good. I have people actually own DVDs still, Adam. I see. Yeah. Man. whole story, interesting. The first one half season's great. The rest, Matt, designated survivor, yeah. The first season and a half, fantastic. The rest of it got really, really really. It got really fast. I don't even know what Scandal is. Never heard of it. Kroger should have had a better movie career. All right, guys, we're past it. We're past the wrap up time. It's already over 90 minutes, guys. I know you guys got more comments coming in, but I kind of got to roll. Kiefer Sutherland sings country music. Holy shit, does he? Good for him. Scandal does count. She spent more time at the White House than in her office. Gotcha. No, I have no clue. Guys, we got to wrap this up. Train the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Like, subscribe, follow, retweet. We'll be back Monday overreacting to the Phillies, to the Flyers, to NBA free agency. Howie Roseman Appreciation Day. Let's all go on social media today and just say, we love you, Howie. Thank you, Howie. National Treasure. Great movies. Still waiting for the third one. Deep Impact. Better than Armageddon. Go Birds. Ring the bell. Bubbles up. That's right. We'll see that in a second. Great show. Fins up. Bubbles up. That's right. Fins up. Anybody want to buy me a present? Get me tickets to go see the tribute show in Atlanta or Alabama in about a month and a half. I would love to go see it. Mac McNally doing a tribute show. Fins up, guys. But with that, it's the weekend. It's 5 o'clock somewhere for some of you. It's work time for others. Guys, have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday for Overreaction Monday. Ring that bell. Go Birds. And bubbles up.